So how did that first video go for you? I mean, did you get an idea that you can use right away? I tell you, when I started implementing ABR, Always Be Ready, and I had at my ready, I had right there that list of 75 things that I could do if I was surprised with an extra window of time, my life changed. I think I'm a better husband, definitely a better coach, I'm a much better athlete. Why? Because I get to take advantage of these small windows of time. So speaking of taking advantage of life, speaking of engaging at the most that you can, video number 2 is called At My Best When. And when you think about being at your best, when you think about giving of the overflow, just earlier today, I'm recording this video here in Mammoth Lakes where Jody and I are on one of our annual work retreats. And real quick, I don't know if you knew this, but every year we schedule 2 to 6 weeks during the year to leave our home office of Ojai, and we rent a house, we rent a condominium, we move around different places, and we think differently, we think bigger. And I know right here, living in the mountains for these couple of weeks, going on long walks in the woods, going for mountain bike rides by myself, I get to think bigger, I get to think better, and really setting yourself up to be at your best. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, it really works if I kind of look at this as an annual thing. So I sit down from time to time and I'll pull out the calendar, actually print a year-long calendar, and I look out 12 months and I ask myself, over the next 12 months, what are the things that I'm going to have to do? What are the places that I'm going to have to go? How am I going to have to be? Who am I going to have to surround myself by? What books am I going to have to read? What movies am I going to have to watch? What kinds of things could I do so that if I do those things, the likelihood of me being a best Jason go up? A best Jason. A best Daniel, a best Samantha, a best, I'm feeling a little bit like one of those TV shows where I'm looking in the camera and seeing everybody's name. But here, really, what I'm going to ask you to do is to pause. Pause this video if you want, or pause your own thinking if you'd like. Pull out a piece of paper, walk to your whiteboard, open up a new document in your word processor there on your computer, and up on top, let me ask you to write down, I am at my best when. And what I'll ask you to do is to give yourself the gift of your own attention. I mean, really, let yourself think about this. What are the things that you could do early in the day? Where are the places you could go? How could you be? Who could you surround yourself by? What kind of information could you bring in? What could you listen to, read, or see? What are the things that if you did during the day would increase the likelihood that you could be at your best? You could give of the overflow. I was about to share with you that earlier today I was part of a webinar series that someone's doing, and the topic of his interview series is Pursue Your Dreams. And midway through the interview, he asked me, this guy Michael, he said, "Hey Jason, what's one thing that you would recommend all of our viewers do if they want to take that step to achieving their dreams?" And instantly, didn't even have to think about it, at my best when. Now, there's a couple of levels of this that I want to share in this video right here, because you could read my book, or there's a whole bunch of videos online you could look at when it comes to fulfilling this philosophy. But because you signed up for the Get Momentum learning series, you're going to get a little bit extra. And usually I only talk about this with my clients one-on-one. So sit down, grab your notebook, open up that word processor, go to your whiteboard. Here's what I need you to do. Right at the top of that piece of paper, I am at my best when. And then look at that. Bring to mind your history. Bring to mind your work. Bring to mind your dreams, your goals. If it helps, bring to mind someone that you love, someone that cares for you. Bring to mind a place that you've been to that brings you joy. Bring to mind an event that you were a part of at some point in your life where you were there completely engaged. Now that you've got that in the back of your mind, let that ink spill upon the page. Let your fingers fly across the keyboard. Now, the reason why I say I'm going to give you a little bit extra here is once you get those 5 or 7 or 9 things, we're going to start to put some lines through some. Because left to your own devices, and don't take this personal, but left to your own devices, you put things down there that you probably shouldn't have. You know, I mean, you probably want to hit pause on the video right now before I tell you all this, but if you're moving through this process, take a look at what you wrote. I need every single one of those to be in your control and fairly believable. You know, recently I worked with a client, and you know what she wrote down on her "at my best when"? She said, "I'm at my best when I get a full 8 hours of sleep." And I watched her write it down. I watched her write down a few more things. She turned to me, and because at the end of the process, I always do a debrief with the client, she read them out loud. And when she got to that one, I just said, "Stop." I said, "It's not possible." And she looked at me, she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you just told me that your daughter turned 2 and you're expecting in 3 months. I am telling you, you are not going to get a full 8 hours sleep every night. Totally out of your control." And so when you back up on this thing, now can I give you a couple of examples? Well, I'm gonna, it's my video. Here's an example of something totally in my control, and pretty believable. I'm at my best when I eat a complete and balanced breakfast. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, you know, Jason, you travel 140 to 150 airplane flights a year. You're in hotels about 200 nights a year. Don't you ever have days that are out of your control? I did. But you see, in my backpack, and you can always stop me and ask me if I see you in an airport, or if I'm in one of your companies talking to your group, in my backpack I have a full breakfast. I have a Power Bar or a Cliff Bar or a Balance Bar. It depends on what season I'm in. I've got a bag of instant oatmeal, and I've got a little travel bag of trail mix of nuts. Now, it's not the breakfast of champions. It's not exactly what I would want to eat every day of my life, but I've scoped it out, and it's about 30 grams of protein. It's about 400 calories. See, that is going to get me started. It's going to be something to put in the tank in case the unforeseen happens. Okay, I told you I was going to give you a little bit extra here, because all that stuff you can read in my book, you can go online and find. Here's the extra. What I need you to do is to get your "at my best when" complete as of now, right? This season, if it's winter, if it's spring, if it's summer, if you're about to take a new position, they're moving you overseas for 60 or 90 or 180 days, what I want you to do is to get your "at my best when" current as of now, and then I want you to publish that to 5 of your mentors, to 5 of the people you turn to for advice, for 5 of the people who you look to give you the information that you need when you need it. And what I'll invite you to do is to broker some kind of arrangement where from time to time, once every week, once every 2 weeks, any one of those 5 people is given the right, okay, I would ask them, is given the right to call you on your stuff. When I did this, I had a mentor of mine, Kevin, and I published my "at my best when," and I tell you, over the couple of months that we did this process, he would call me, he would email me, he would text me, and occasionally he caught me. He caught me on a day when I didn't do everything that I knew I needed to do to be at my best. How about you? What can you do to set yourself up so that tomorrow is a day where you don't just do everything that you need to do, but you be the person you know you want to be?